Hey there, I'm Sunny. Today, I want to take you on a little trip. A journey back in time, really, to my childhood, to experience one of India's most amazing festivals, Holi. But we're not just looking at any Holi. Nope. We're going to dive right into the heart of my hometown, Sri Ganganagar, in Rajasthan, back in the 1980s, to see how the Festival of Colors was celebrated in a totally different era.
It's a really good question, isn't it? And my childhood memories pretty much answer it perfectly. It was a time when the festival felt way more spontaneous, a lot more local, and, let's be honest, a whole lot messier.
Alright, so let me paint a picture for you. We're in a town with these narrow, packed-in streets. The air itself is just buzzing, It's filled with this incredible smell of sweets, like gujiya being made in every other house. And the excitement? Well, that didn't spread through texts or social media. It was all word of mouth, which somehow made the anticipation even more electric.
Now, for us kids, Holi wasn't just a one-day thing. Oh no. It was basically a week-long campaign of playful mischief. Our pre-Holi rituals? They involved some serious strategic planning, deciding on who our prime targets were, hoarding color powders like they were treasure, and setting up these elaborate water bucket traps over doorways for any unsuspecting person.
But before all that colorful chaos, there was this night of really deep spiritual meaning and community. The eve of Holi, what we call Holika Dahan, had this completely different, almost magical vibe to it.
So at the very core of the festival's origin story is Holika Dahan. And it's not just a bonfire, it's this incredibly powerful symbol. It commemorates the story of Prahlad and Holika, and it's there to remind everyone about faith, about resilience, and about the ultimate win of good over evil.
I mean, just imagine it. The warmth of this huge fire, the sound of elders chanting these ancient prayers, the smell of chickpeas and jaggery roasting in the flames, and right there, alongside this very spiritual moment, you've got us kids, all huddled together, whispering and finalizing our sneaky plans for the morning. It was this beautiful mix of reverence and pure giddy excitement. And then, the morning arrives. And the energy just completely flips. It goes from the calm, reverent feeling of the night before to absolute wonderful chaos. This was not some organized party. It was a full-blown, friendly neighborhood street war.
This was the unwritten rule, okay? The second you stepped out of your house, you were fair game. And getting hit with that first splash of color, you weren't supposed to get annoyed. It was a badge of honor. It meant you were officially in the game, part of the celebration. Okay, so every street war needs its weapons, and this was our arsenal. Pretty simple, but super effective. You had your classic handfuls of dry color, then the more advanced pitchkaris, water guns for long-range attacks, and of course, the ultimate weapon of surprise, the water-filled balloon.
I vividly remember this one classic move. My friends and I filled a matka, that's an earthen pot, with colored water. We snuck up onto a rooftop, waited, and waited for just the right moment, and then, splash! And our target? One very, very unsuspecting uncle who had just stepped out of his house. He was drenched, head to toe, in bright pink water. And after this moment of total shock, everyone, including him, just erupted in laughter. That's what it was all about.
And you have to get this. Absolutely no one was safe. Not even the most respected figures in the neighborhood. One year, a water balloon somehow found its way to our very strict school principal. That one, as you can probably imagine, required a little bit of explaining the next day at school.
All right, so as much fun as the color throwing was, there was another part of the celebration that was just as important: the food. In fact, you could say the sweets were kind of the glue that held the whole community together on Holi.
And the undisputed king of Holi sweets was, and let's be real, still is, the gujiya. These golden, flaky dumplings are stuffed with this sweet mixture of khoya, which is like a thickened milk, and nuts. They are absolutely incredible. And believe me, they were the ultimate prize every kid was after.
The feast was pretty diverse. So, along with the gujiya, you had puran poli, which is this delicious sweet flatbread, and for the grown-ups, there was thandai, a refreshing milk-based drink that was sometimes, let's say, enhanced with pong. Yeah, us kids were definitely told to stick to the sweets.
This quote just nails it. Food really was a love language. Every single home in the neighborhood had its doors wide open. People would just go from house to house, smearing a little color on each other's faces, and more importantly, sharing a plate of sweets. It was the perfect way to forget any little arguments and just share some laughter.
So how does that
Really personal, community-driven celebration I remember from the 80s stack up against the Holi a lot of us know today. Well, it's safe to say the festival has really transformed.
One of the biggest differences is in the colors themselves. Back then, colors were often made at home from natural stuff. Turmeric for yellow, beetroot for this deep pink, and all kinds of flowers. They were organic, they were gentle. Today, it's much more common to just grab those convenient, prepackaged artificial colors.
The whole experience has shifted too. That spontaneous, very personal neighborhood war has, in a lot of places, been replaced by these big, organized Holi parties with DJs and curated playlists. And the festival has gone global, with these massive celebrations that bring people from all over the world to cities like Mathura.
And this whole evolution leaves me with a question. As our traditions change and spread all over the globe, what are the key things that are worth preserving? Maybe it's not really about homemade versus artificial colors or street wars versus DJ parties. Maybe, just maybe, the part that's truly worth holding on to is that simple, timeless spirit of love, forgiveness, and just pure unfiltered joy. Thanks for coming along on this trip down memory lane with me.